So today I'm excited because I'm going to share my conversation with Professor WenJun. Yeah, some of you already gotten the the file. It's not supposed to be shared. All right. So today I'll be showing to you that 3-hour conversation, and the reason why it went to 3-hour long because I had a translator. So it took us a while to translate from English to Mandarin, and then from Mandarin to English. So it was a back and forth translation. But overall, my experience with this amazing guy was incredible. I mean, you think that he's just an inventor, the usual guy that makes money, that knows the technology and so on. But I was wrong when I had that experience with him. Oh my gosh, this is what I can say. He has a huge heart. He has a huge heart for humanity. And I love his values. I love his philosophy. He said that, I'm doing this because I just want to contribute back to humanity my talent, my gift to heal the world and bring love. That's why the Shang, which is the name of this health technology, which is owned by Professor WenJun, you know what they believe? They believe that we are love, we awaken love, and we give love. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, that statement is totally amazing. What a wonderful belief, wonderful program that this guy is believing. And so no wonder he was able to create one of the best technology, the Terahertz device, the iTeraCare, that has swept the entire globe until today. And I'm very proud of that. So guys, just stick on with me. I want your attention because tonight will be wonderful. It's gonna explode your brains. A lot of you already gotten this presentation, I mean this file itself, but after my presentation I'll be sending you a link where you can download this file, the entire conversation, in a PDF form, and you can read that. You can probably share it to your prospects, to people that you have shared about their TeraCare, and somehow they don't know the science. They don't know what's behind this technology. So a lot of people, they don't appreciate because they don't have the idea about what they're using. It's just a simple hair dryer. But when you begin to understand the technology, the power, then it gives you 80% boost of the result. That is what science says. A mere vitamin C, if you don't know what vitamin C can do in your body, guess what? When you take the vitamin C, yes, it will give you a result. But you know what? There is this placebo effect. Now, placebo is not something wrong, but it's something about the mind, that when the mind is educated, when you have an idea about what you're taking, science says that which you are taking and applying will have a boost of at least 85 or 80%. Isn't that crazy? Just by understanding how technology works, how that vitamin C works in the body, it becomes 80 or 85 at least percent more effective in the body than just taking it without knowledge. That's why we've got that effect with the medicines. When they take, it's just a pill of sugar. But how come it has an effect? Because you have educated the mind. So there's something about the mind and the frequency and what you're doing that affects your physical body. Isn't that crazy? Oh my gosh, I just love it. Now, before I go with this conversation, let me start with this one. Now, a lot of us, we have side hustles, okay? And the reason why I want to share this, it's simply because I want you to take this business seriously. Before COVID, 16% of the population has side hustles. In other words, you have second or third sources of income. A lot of us here, we have got a lot of hustles, a lot of businesses probably. And I'm sure, most of us, we don't just have one job. Some have two jobs, right? And one has a job, another one has another business on the side. And so this is an information you have to understand. Now, after COVID, watch this, guys. Listen, after COVID, 75%, this is particularly in America, 75% of the population has second source of income. and a side hustle. Why is that so? Because after the COVID, everything went up. In the Philippines, the inflation is up to the neck. If you have one job today and you are in a metro city, you are in a big city, I don't think you can survive. Most of the couples here, families here, husband and wife, both of them have work. And sometimes one of that which has two or more sources of income. And that is a fact. 50% of millennials has businesses from home, online businesses. We've got TikTok shops, Shoppees, we've got Lazada, Alibaba, we've got all this, Amazon type. Everybody's making money, and some of them are really making big monies out of these industries. It's part of what we call the evolution of business and evolution of online industries. Now, 75% of the Generation Z today has side hustles or two or more sources of income. Why is that so? Because everybody wants to survive. That is the fact today. Are you still with me? Everybody wants to make ends meet. And that is the truth today. So now I am saying this because I want you to take this industry to the next level. Take it seriously. If you believe in this industry, multi-level marketing, if you believe in Prof, take it seriously. And guess what? If you commit, if your energy, your mindset, if you believe about the company, you believe in the product, you believe in your downlines, your uplines, you believe in yourself, all this belief is completed in this entire platform that you're doing, guess what? You're going to make it big time. And it has been proven to those who totally commit 100%. They take it, not just a side hustle, but the main source of income, and they commit to do this type of business, this industry called network marketing. Guess what? They make a lot of money. A lot, seriously. And we've seen that even here in Prof International. We've seen people earning as much as 50,000 US dollars a month, 100,000, 120, 130, and our top earners are hitting 150,000 US dollars. And the reason why I'm saying that, because these people, they have committed, they've taken the business to the next level, like a professional builder, a professional network marketer. Now, I'm encouraging you to do that. It's because the next wave, in case you don't know, the wave of the supplements has always been here. It has been here since the 1950s and 60s when Amway and the rest, the California, all these supplements, when they started many years ago, like 80 years, 70 years ago, it was the wave of the supplements. They introduced supplementation because people are not eating enough or taking enough supplements or nutrients by the food with the food that they eat. So here comes supplements, and supplements has become so huge, and a lot of people make so much money. Amway today, there's still people earning almost $1 million, if not more than that, $1 million US dollars every month. They took it to the next level, and that has been like that for many years. Now, after the supplement, what's the next wave that will sweep the entire world? After all this nutrition, all of this stuff, comes the frequency wave. It is the wave of energy, because this energy consciousness is now here. And guys, Prof, the iTeraCare, is pioneering the frequency wave, which will last again for the next decade or so. And so you are a pioneering, you are the ones who's going to bring this wave to the entire corners of the world. And you know that if you're starting in a business and you are in the forefront, yes, you're going to get so much challenges, but you're also going to get so much profit, so much advantage ahead of everybody because you believe in the power of frequency. That is the opportunity that we have right now in our very hands. That is the opportunity. I'm saying this, I'm serious. It's because I've seen it. The frequency wave is already here. It is starting. In fact, I will show you in the last part of my presentation, I will show you what Professor WenJun said to us. That will definitely blow your mind. This is just the beginning. iTeraCare is just the beginning. We have seen so much, people's lives change. A lot of great results, a combination of what you're doing, the therapy, the bio, the oxytap, all this combination and other stuff, people are getting better. We've got thousands and thousands of testimonies, even doctors saying, gosh, this is a great technology. We've got doctors in Dubai that says, oh, this technology must be incorporated in our practice. Because why? This is the future. Guys, hold on. Keep doing what you're doing. Be committed. Just be there 100%. Give all that you have. And you know what? If you commit to something huge, you have to pay the price. And this price is about you doing the work. Once you commit and doing the work, it's a matter of just building and building and building and building. And one day you will reap the harvest and you're going to be financially blessed. All right. I hope you're encouraged with my introduction. And so let me end this presentation, this slide here, and let me go to my other slide, which let's go to the main subject for today. All right. Now, this file is final already. It is already translated into Mandarin. We've got a Mandarin edition because Professor WenJun requested me, Nathan, can you please translate it to Mandarin? So we had Mr. Jerry, the branch GM, General Manager of Singapore branch of Prof. He translated into Mandarin. So we have a Mandarin version of this. We also have the Spanish version for Mexicans in Spanish. It's already here available. And we will have also the probably will have for Polish, Danish, Norwegian version. We can have all these versions because we have the power of Chat GPT and the power of our leaders, and we can all translate this now easier than before. So if you want the file, let me know because you can translate it to your language. And again, we can do that moving forward to all our materials here in Prof International. So I had a very good privilege, a very powerful conversation with Professor WenJun. And again, I give credit to Mr. Jerry G, the CEO of Singapore branch, for this wonderful time that we had. And this is so motivating to me as a scientist, and he's able to show me those things that I've been wanting to understand. All right. There were questions that it has been in my mind since I started iTeraCare since September of 2021. I got all these questions and I've written them in my phone. And so I said, I have to ask this question. So these are the questions, and I'm sure you have seen this. All right. These are the summary. The first question I had is, can you summarize or organize the explanation of how terahertz work? Right. That was my first question. How does this technology work? All right. In the perspective of science, not just layman's term, but I want to understand how science works. So this is the first answer he has. He said, you know, this crystal, all right, this crystal that is inside the iTeraCare is emitting terahertz perpetually. All right. So even though it's not plugged or switched on, the device is emitting iTeraCare. And so he suggested you can sleep with it. Oh my gosh. I was like, really? Yep. You can put it beside you, just unplug it. That's his suggestion. Of course, don't plug it. Unplug it and sleep with the device. Some people are sleeping with multiple devices. They put it on the side of their bed, side of their bodies, on the side, on the head side, on the feet side. So if you have this device, make sure it does not fall off the bed because you know it's going to break. But this is what he said. The terahertz is perpetually emitting even if it's not switched on. Isn't it amazing? Not everybody knows about that, right? So now, when the device is switched on, it blows hot air. Of course, yes, but this is the thing. This is what I don't know before. That hot air is combined with the terahertz frequency, which I'm sure you already know about terahertz frequency. It's between the infrared, the light protons, the photons, and the electronic wave, which is the microwave. So it's between that. Now, when this terahertz emits, I'm going to talk more about the emission in the crystal, the heat is being carried by the terahertz. So in other words, one of the functions of, if I may say, one of the characteristics of the terahertz, it is able to, it's like a, if I may say, it's like a vehicle. The terahertz is able to bring, to drive, to carry, if that's the word. It's gonna carry the hot air, that the hot air is not just penetrating on the skin. The hot air is carried by the terahertz, which terahertz can pass through the skin, and so it begins to heat the cells and the bones. I was like, wow, wow. So the hot air is carried by the vehicle, the terahertz frequency, and it begins to biologically heat the cells and the bones. That is the nature of the photons inside the terahertz. They have energy, and they call it milli-electron volts, MeV. This is the science, guys. You can Google that. So again, this is non-ionizing, and it's very safe for human use. That's what he said. Now, when the device generates frequency using the optical quartz crystals, which was heated in a highly advanced furnace. So the crystal, which I'm going to talk more about that, all right? This crystal is combined. There was a recipe that Professor WenJun was, experimenting and combining through years of combining the recipe of the optical quartz and the minerals. So what happens is this process involves the photovoltaic system that uses high quality silicon. Now, these are scientific terms. What is photovoltaic? This is light. We are photovoltaic beings. In other words, we convert light into another form of energy. Like when the light hits our skin, we turn it into vitamin D. We are photovoltaic beings or physical bodies. So with the photovoltaic system, when the frequency is emitting light, because this frequency is light, that light is being emitted using a silicon, because a crystal, listen to me, this crystal has silicons. And silicon is used for computers. It's used for microchips. Silicons bear energy and information. And listen to this. This is where you're going to blow your mind, all right? The crystal technology contains a crystal tube that emits terahertz frequency. This tube is made from a combination of optical quartz crystal and specific minerals perfected over years of research by Professor WenJun. Now, what they do is they crushed the crystal into powder. All right, I didn't know that. They crushed it and they turn it into powder. They melt it together with the minerals, and they form it into tube. That's why it looks like a glass. There is a balance of this mineral and crystal. It has to be balanced, because there was a time when they were doing the experiment, the furnace exploded. All right. And he said, well, thank God nobody got hurt. There was an explosion because when they tried to combine the crystals and other elements, there was like an explosion that happens. That's what he said. I don't exactly know what type and what causes the explosion. He was saying the explosion is caused because there was an imbalance of the combination of minerals and the crystal. All right. So now with the combination of balancing the crystals and the minerals, they have to balance this to produce a stable and correct range of terahertz. So it's not that easy. It's like cooking, right amount of salt, right amount of blah, blah, blah. It is a recipe, because if it's too much, too little is not going to work, or it's going to explode. So they have to carefully balance the minerals and the combination of crystals so they can produce the correct range of terahertz frequency. Now, this crystal tube is made of using 99% pure Donghae. Now, what is Donghae? Donghae silicon is known, when you say Donghae, it's found in Donghae, China. All right, you can Google this. I've Googled this already. Donghae silicon or Donghae crystal silicon is known in the world to have high energy value and intensity compared with other crystals you find in other places in the world. This silicon is of high quality, and this is a key component in producing the terahertz frequency. It has to be Donghae silicon. It has to be this kind of crystal. If you look for it, if you use another crystal from other places, it's not going to work well. That is what Professor Yang WenJun said. Now let's go into the next page, all right? Now the development. I was asking, what is really the history? How did you guys come up with the technology? And so this is what he said. They started actually in 2004. All right, let's go back to the history. History. Okay. Now the history is something so unique. You know, again, it's like when a person goes into a very low and challenging state of his life, you know, sometimes a miracle or an invention happens. And it happens in many cases with inventors and painters. You know, the best painting was because, you know, he was broken up with his girlfriend, or the best invention because there was a need. So it's the same as the iTeraCare. Now, this is the journey, just for you to know. This started in 2004. Now, a group of scientists, Professor Yang WenJun was part of this group of scientists. In 2004, China, the scientists in China was already starting their research and studying about frequency technology. This was 2004. They're looking for frequencies that can help about health frequencies, you know, about communication. Huawei was the pioneer of this. You know, Huawei, you know Huawei, right? Huawei has 5G now, and 5G is actually using scalar energy, and 6G is using terahertz energy, right? In case you don't know, that's what Professor said. So in 2004, they started to develop something that they could use an energy or frequency for therapeutic benefits. So these are scientists and other, you know, doctors and health industries trying to look for ways on how to harness frequencies for medical application. Now, in 2006, the senior scientist was deeply affected by the loss of his wife because of cancer. And so this scientist became determined to find a solution that could help others avoid the same fatal, you know, case. Like, people might die more about this with this cancer. So he said, I want to find a solution. How can I stop cancer? Because my wife died of cancer. So what happens is, because she battled, you know, she was fighting against tumor and died. So this senior scientist said, I want to look for ways to defeat cancer. So in 2016, so from 2006, after almost 10 years, 10 years, all right, within those states, they were able to find the terahertz in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, they already found terahertz, but it was still crude. In other words, it was still on a baby stage. It was very unstable. All right, there was terahertz, but they don't even know how to call it that time. There was no name that time, right? It's like they know it's terahertz, but they don't really understand how terahertz works. And so in 2010, they got the terahertz machine, but it was unstable until in 2014. Listen, guys, the senior scientists culminated in the founding of Deshang. This is because of Mr. Yang WenJun in 2014. Mr. Yang WenJun joined the research and discovered that of all other materials they use, the technology, it was Professor Yang WenJun who discovered that optical quartz crystal combined with specific minerals, this was the solution to stabilize the frequency that is now called the iTeraCare. So it was Professor Yang WenJun who have discovered the usage of crystal, because they were using other materials, probably, you know, microchips and laboratories and stuff like that. So Professor Yang WenJun said, hey, let's try the crystal. And so they were perfecting it until this came, the iTeraCare. Now, advanced crystal technology. Why crystal? Because crystal is the key to stabilize terahertz frequency. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of you, when you talk about crystal, you think it's like new age or stuff like that. You know what? In the ancient times, if you're open into the idea, you know, a lot of ancient technology were using crystals to emit light and frequency. And I'm sure some of you knows about that. So there's something about crystals, and they use this to stabilize the terahertz frequency. Now, this crystal has to be optical quartz crystal, all right? And then this is it. This crystal, all right, is found or manufactured or processed in Guangzhou, because this is the hub for manufacturing specialized crystals. Interestingly, the crystals produced there are also used in aerospace technology. So China is using crystal for aerospace application. Can you imagine that China is so advanced, right? And so we are using the same kind of crystal that China government is using for aerospace crystal. All right. So again, in Deshang, this is what they believe. They believe that we are love, we awaken love, and we give love. Now let's move on. Understanding the connection now. This is the most important part here. What is the connection between the body? Why? People are asking, Nathan, why does it need to be hot? If it's frequency, why does it need to be hot? Right, this is now the explanation. It's perfectly fine that you use the cold setting of the probe, because still it is emitting the terahertz, and terahertz itself is very powerful. But why does it needs to be hot? Because again, this is the explanation. The human body functions at its best if it's at its stable frequency, or temperature of around 36.5 degrees Celsius. And this is what he said. There are 365 days in a year, which is 36.5 degrees Celsius temperature of the human body. This temperature is critical to maintain overall health, because it allows the body's system to operate efficiently. If the body is in the correct, stable, and correct temperature, the body is healthy. That's what he said. If the temperature goes down, all right, listen here, all right? If the temperature goes down, it affects your metabolism, your enzymes, your immune responses. That's why when you have like a tumor, they tested a tumor, you know, a tumor has 36.1 degrees of temperature, like cancer areas, those pain areas, they tested, it becomes colder. So if you have a pain, that area has a colder temperature. It makes sense. And so when you use the iTeraCare and focus on those areas where there's cancer, tumor, pain, you know, those growth and those things that is wrong, all right, or unhealthy in the body, and you focus that, what happens is the terahertz brings the heat to the biological tissues and the cells, and it begins to heat up. And so when it is in its right temperature, the body begins to align itself and begins to heal itself. That is the reason why it is important to use heat in iTeraCare. So the role, this is designed to help the body maintain its ideal temperature so that the overall health and well-being is sustained. This is promoting the body's natural ability to regulate its temperature. So iTeraCare helps prevent the body from slipping into a lower unhealthy temperature range, thereby reducing the risk of sickness and keeping the body in its most favorable condition. In case you don't know, there's a study right now that sauna increases the lifespan for at least 5 to 8 years. Sauna. You know, do you love sauna? So there's something about heating the body, and even cold plunges, because when you are in an extreme temperature, the body produces what we call the shock proteins. And so it makes sense, if the body is heated up and the body sustains the ideal temperature, the body is healthy. There is no sickness present in an ideal temperature that which the body should be, which is 36.5 degrees. All right, now I'm almost done. Understanding the connection between the body's temperature, health, and terahertz. So the body's intelligent, and the body responds to this frequency. So there's a lot of frequency that the body's feeling right now. Your body is bombarded with different types of frequencies and energy. We've got sound frequency, light frequency, we've got 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi frequency. But of all the frequencies, guess what? The body loves terahertz. Of all the frequencies, the body responds so powerfully with the terahertz. Why? Because frequencies of terahertz loves water. So in other words, water loves terahertz, and terahertz love water, because water and terahertz combined are a very powerful combination. Now, again, I always tell you that water holds memory, and terahertz is so effective in water. The human body is composed of about 70% water, and terahertz frequency interacts exceptionally well with water molecules. We have tested that. You've seen that when terahertz exposed into the water, the cells vibrate harmoniously, enhancing cellular communication, improving circulation, and supporting overall cellular function. That's why it's important to always drink charged water. Terahertz has a natural affinity for water, which means it resonates well with the body's water content. We are 70% water. This resonance helps improve the body's internal processes, leading to better health outcomes. Because of this unique interaction, the body reacts positively to terahertz frequency, making it a very powerful tool to promote health and maintaining the ideal body temperature. So again, guys, even your coffee, even your wine, even your tea, even the water that you use to water your plants, charge it. It is very powerful. And terahertz can change the structures and can memorize the terahertz frequency. And once it is attached to the body will absorb it. Now, remember, all sickness is a signal that something's wrong in the body. So when the body's temperature goes down below 36.5, you know what to do. That is an indication that the body is off balance. When you're cold, the body is off balance. When you are 36.5, the body is in balance. So recognizing this, if you address that when your body is getting colder and colder, you use iTeraCare. Go for number 3, guys. Go for the hottest one in the Pro. Do it. Keep blowing it. And once you maintain that healthy temperature, that is when you prevent serious conditions. All right. Now, last one here. This is not with the ones that was circulating. Now, this is the one. Now, we asked Professor WenJun, right? Are there more devices coming? And this is what he said. Yes. Professor WenJun and the team of scientists in Dashang are now, right at this moment, as we're speaking, they have new technologies coming. And it's actually being tested right now. And if iTeraCare is totally mind-blowing, wait for the next generation of terahertz frequency. So they have powerful advancement, and they will soon be available. They'll be launched. And the launching will not be in other companies. The pioneering launch of these new technologies by Dashang and Professor WenJun will be through Prof. Prof is set to lead the charge in revolutionizing industry. He was talking about pods. He was talking about terahertz pod. You see this picture here? He's talking about terahertz pod. People will just lie down and there is a beam of terahertz. And once the person goes out after like 30 minutes or 1 hour, the person is just kaboom, goes into watt state, like amazing. So I'm so excited for this, all right? And I don't know the details, but that's what he said. There are many, many technologies coming in our way. And guess what, guys? All of us here, we will enjoy the benefits of this new technology that is about to be launched by Prof through Professor WenJun and Dashang. And so this culminates my presentation today. All right. I'm so glad that they're over now 299. We went into 300 today. And I'm so glad that you're with me.